So, upon arrival through the chief nurse, Ada realizes that they have arrived England. She opens her eyes wide, closes it again, still very shivery. She runs outside and she tells herself, so I have arrived England. Ha! I'm in United Kingdom. Her heart sank as she remembers her father. Upon realization, she realizes that England gives Ada a very cold welcome. She discovers that Liverpool is very grey and smoky and looks uninhabited. She wonders in her heart why the people of London will give visitors a very cold welcome. Being a little disappointed though, Ada tells herself if people like Lawyer Wednesday and others can survive in England, she also can succeed. As Francis comes to welcome Ada, she realizes that Francis is now a new person as he kisses her in public. At this point, we should record that before Ada came to Lagos, in Francis' letter, he stated that he has found an apartment, but upon arrival, the sight of the house needs shock Ada to crazy. In fact, she does not even know where the house begins and ends because the whole houses are joined in the street. She has never seen this kind of house, not even from Lagos where she hails from. She looks at Francis with almost confusion. Is this the house you said you found for us? Worse still, the one-room apartment has no bedroom and kitchen. Ada was so worried. And she looks and she asks herself, is this the man I got married to? She boldly and angrily confronts Francis. Have you no shame at all? Have you lost your sense in this God-forsaken country? Oh, I wish I had never come. I wish I had been warned. Francis, on the other hand, was not remorseful. Rather, he tells her to face reality and to stop wishing. He further tells her to please remember that whatever she was in Lagos, be her a millionaire, an educated elite with 100 servants under her, the day she comes to England, that day she automatically becomes a second-class citizen. In grief, she asks herself in her mind if she entered a marriage in mistake. Oh, what disturbs Ada in her mind is that she notices that Francis had conditioned himself to accept and enjoy being a second-class human, especially as he presses Ada to get a job in a factory shop. He even tells her that the best place to work as a second-class citizen is as a boy or a conductor. But Ada, knowing herself, refuses rigidly because she has gotten so many O's and A's in her certificate and had once worked in a British Library Association as a professional. In no due time, as Ada, being a very dogmatic woman, gets a job as a senior library assistant at North Finchley Library, she is so happy that she begins to dance. As Ada was planning to tell her husband Francis that she has gotten a job, she realizes that she was already pregnant. Considering her situation, she fears whether Francis is accusing her of using her pregnancy to avert the job because she has been he has been burning in anger against Ada for refusing to work in a low-class kind of job. She, however, dresses up to meet a doctor. After the manipulation of her test result or her pregnancy test result, Ada finally gets the job at North Finchley Library. Wow. On the very first day of June, Ada started work in North Finchley's library and she is so happy the way she is being welcomed by her co-librarian. Even the chief librarian, Mrs. Conran, welcomed her appealingly. Francis, on the other hand, accepts to look after the children for the meantime, but in no distant time, the same Francis begins to ask Ada, who is going to look after your children for you? I can't go on looking after your children for you. Even the landlord and all the tenants were on Ada's neck, and Francis asking them to give out their children to foster mothers, as that is how the Nigerians who comes abroad does. They give their children to foster American women or a London woman or an English woman as it were. So they expected Ada to dance to this beat, but Ada rigidly refused to give her children out to anybody. These were Francis' words to Ada. Everybody laughs at us in this place. No African child lives with his parents. It is not convenient. It is not possible. There is no accommodation for it. Moreover, they won't even learn good English. They are much, much more better with the Englishwoman. This was what Francis was telling Ada about his own children. Through Janet, a fellow library worker, Ada gets to know that there is something called a childminder in London, and through Babalola, Ada gets to know Trudy, who is a childminder. Immediately, Ada didn't hesitate to register her kids in Trudy's minding office. She becomes offended one day as she cuts Trudy playing with her lover, not knowing the whereabouts of her two children. Ada's anger was ignited when she sees her children. Vicky, on the other hand, pulling rubbish out of the dustbin, while Titi on the other side was drinking water from the toilet. With so much infuriation, Ada reported Trudy to the senior or a police woman in the street who cautions Trudy to look very well after the kids, since she was paid £6 for this job on a weekly basis. With the way Trudy on the other side lies to defend herself, Ada concludes that they are bad white and they are good white, just as they are black and they are good black. Initially, Ada thought white can never lie, but with the case of Trudy, it was an eye-opener for her. Oh, one fateful morning in July, Ada feels very tired, though she decided to go to work. During the time of the leisure in her place of work, she decided to take a stroll downtown. Upon taking a stroll, she discovers beautiful restaurants along the road. In her imagination, she finally says to herself that one day, when Francis will become a qualified accountant and she a qualified librarian, Francis will bring her to such a beautiful restaurant. But on a second thought, Ada is doubtful. Will Francis even have the courage to bring her there? She said to herself, Francis that is too discouraged to come to this kind of place. To him, a black does not deserve this kind of place. His feeling of blackness, according to Ada, was firmly established in his mind. She knows there are discrimination everywhere, but Francis' mind was a fertile ground which such an attitude could grow and thrive. Upon returning to the library after her leisure time, Cynthia, one of the co-workers, quickly asked her what is happening to Vicky. Ada, hearing Vicky, quickly runs to Trudy's plate and found an ambulance and Vicky looking very weak. Vicky is quickly rushed to a hospital called Royal Free Hospital. This didn't go well with Ada because anything that has to do with free, Ada feels is not always good. But afterwards, she still allowed them treat her sick son. 3 days later, it was diagnosed that Vicky had a virus called meningitis, which could cost his life. Ada, with so much infuriation, confronts Trudy. She uses a packer to try to hit Trudy, which Trudy actually escaped. Francis, on the other hand, tries to calm Ada down. Ada threatens to kill him and Trudy, who she suspects that they were already having an affair. She rushes to go out, but Francis warns her that she'll be jailed if she approached a white woman wrongly. Now, Trudy's carelessness is not the only thing making Ada angry, but for the fact that Trudy said that her child Vicky must have contacted the disease meningitis from the water he drank in Nigeria. This made Ada stare at Trudy with the eye of an enemy. Indeed, Trudy has insulted her country, her family, her person, and worst of her child. This was the height of it for Trudy. At this point, Ada threatens to kill Trudy if anything should happen to her child Vicky. Wow, this made the white women around wonder who this woman is because they've never seen a black woman act in such a manner. Listening, on the other hand, to the problem Ada had with Trudy, Mrs. Sterling advises Ada to take her children to a nursery place. This serves as an eye opener to Ada, which at first never knew that a second class child can actually take her own child to go and study with the white children. Trudy, on the other hand, who is a rotten liar according to Ada, had her name removed from the approved childminders list. She leaves Malden Road for Camden Town because Ada threatens to kill her if Vicky dies.